He is the pride of New York and Jamaica. There's my guy, rude boy himself, Randy Brown in the house. What's up, Randy? How are you? Thank you for coming in. Let's hug it out. Have a seat, my man. We were trying to remember, you have been in studio once before. Was it in this studio?
Yes, it was.
It was in this one.
Like
I think right when, like in 2017, like when we
just when I got into the UFC.
Okay, well, welcome back. Long overdue. I like the hat, by the way.
I appreciate that.
It's a cool hat. It's that's like a brand name, right?
Yeah,
but it kind of fits. Nickname, Rude Boy.
You see what I did there?
Yes, I like it. Welcome back home.
Yes, sir.
From Jacksonville.
Yes, sir.
How was it?
It was amazing.
Yes?
It was amazing. Jacksonville, the people were great. The UFC did a great job. It was a phenomenal show. I had a good time.
You had fought there before.
I had.
Pandemic, right?
It was the first fight out of the pandemic.
It was the April 2021 card.
Yeah.
Crazy crowd one.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Jake Paul was there. Mm-hmm. People were going nuts, right?
During my fight, they were screaming.
It was during your fight,
yeah,
that's right.
F Jake Paul.
Yes, yes. Did you even hear that?
I heard that it was so loud, I didn't know exactly what they were chanting, but I did hear the chant.
And then afterwards, DC goes up to him, and it was a whole thing.
It was a whole crazy thing.
All right, so you have this big... By the way, I just saw you 2 weeks ago at the Izzy Premiere, the Stylebender film. Did you like it?
Loved it.
I thought it was incredible.
I was telling people that were asking me about it, I was like, well, it didn't feel like a sports documentary. It's definitely not a sports doc.
No.
It's not a sports doc at all, but it was very inspirational, and I feel like everyone can relate. Every person can relate, especially men. I think it was more geared towards men's mental health. You know what I mean? And just...
Did you know and I don't want to give away too much about the doc, but like, did you know, it's very revealing. Did you know that he was, I guess I could say like that layered, and was that open about talking about how he's feeling and what he's going through, et cetera, et cetera?
Me personally, as a fan of someone like that, yeah. I can tell. You can tell people are layered.
Yes.
You know, a lot of times people tend to box us in as fighters. Oh, you fight, so this is who you are and this is what you do.
Right.
But just speaking with him and, and seeing the kind of person he is, I can definitely tell. I wasn't surprised at all.
Would you ever allow yourself to be that open on camera?
That takes some courage, man. Being that vulnerable. I mean, you know me, right? From our past experiences, especially when I first met you. I was very apprehensive of media. I was afraid. I was kind of a shy kid, you know what I mean? So, I don't know. I couldn't say unless I'm in that position, but, hats off to him, kudos to him, because that takes a level of bravery to really expose yourself to the world, especially the MMA world. They can be very unforgiving sometimes, So.
Do you feel like you've gotten more comfortable in front of the camera, being, out in the open, in the public, being, a character, if you will, in this crazy MMA game?
Yeah, 100%. Not even a character. I mean, just being myself.
Sure.
And just not giving a fuck, man. It's just, this is who I am. This is my story. This is what I've been through. And you've seen it, a small piece of my journey unfold in front of you. And it's just, it is what it is.
What's the turning point for you? Like, when do you stop caring?
When I realized that it doesn't matter, because people are always going to have something to say. People are always going to have preconceived notions. People are always going to judge you. People are always going to, have an opinion. Everybody, it's like an asshole, right? An opinion. Everybody got one. So,
did you used to care a lot?
Yeah, 100%.
Like too much?
Yes, 100%.
Like reading the comments and shit like that?
Absolutely.
And it gets in your head?
Absolutely.
So how do you let that slide now?
I don't know. I guess that comes with just when I just told myself, like, hey, just go do you. You understand who you are. You know what your skill set is. You know the work that you've been putting in. These people don't really get to see it. They just sit home and they see a moment, and you're not always going to be your best in that moment.
Right.
So you know what? Just go out there and just be who you are, man, and it is what it is.
This may sound funny, but I actually really feel bad for athletes of today because there's so much mental that goes on in competing on this level. You, basketball, football, like despite, they make money, I don't care about any of that. Just the mental. At the end of the day, you're competing against another person. It doesn't matter how much you're getting paid or whatever. And to have to deal with like comments coming to you right here, it's got to fuck you up. Like the ones who say they don't, I question, to be honest, because I just like in the 90s, basketball players, boxers fight, like they didn't have to deal with this.
Yeah.
This fucks you up. No, don't you think? How do you,
some people, it's like almost like I don't give a fuck personally.
You don't?
I don't care.
Okay,
good. It's because, but I can see how some people it could really fuck with them. I guess it's on like a person-to-person basis. For me personally, I don't know what it is. It's just like, I'm not trying to sit here like, oh, I'm this tough guy. Nothing can get to me. You know, I'm a person with emotions and feelings and all that stuff. But I don't really care what a person on the internet has to say.
Good.
You know, I don't know. People are always going to say something, Ariel. People always got something to say. Or maybe I'm just not famous enough.
I mean,
no, I'm saying maybe I'm not there yet. You know what I mean? To where it's like thousands of people every day that are just coming down on me. So I can see how that can get to someone. But
so let me ask you, like after the Jack Della fight, right? Yeah. How did you handle that? Big fight, big stage, right? Obviously didn't go your way. Mm-hmm. How was the aftermath?
I'll tell you what, I was sad for sure, naturally.
Yeah.
You know, it's a lot of big implications, right? It's a huge stage. It's a big moment for me, you know what I mean? And at the very least, I don't care about winning and losing. I do, but to an extent. We win, we lose, it's a part of what we do, right? And the way I lost is what bothered me. You know what I mean? The way I lost is like, all right, I've never lost in the first round, you know what I mean? And I zigged when I was supposed to zag, and he caught me. Personally, I think if we do it again, it doesn't go exactly like that, but hey, you know, that's behind me. The people in Perth were extremely nice. These people in Perth were just, the fans were very different from what you would think. The fans were like more so like, it was almost like a game. They understood that this was just a sport. So they would boo at the press, you know, and all that stuff was cool and all that. But afterwards, it was very odd. Like, they didn't make me feel like it was me against them. I was against their guy, but they were like still happy that, you know, that we competed and we came there and we were there performing and putting on a show for them.
They showed you love.
They showed me so much love. Wow. I literally couldn't even walk out in the street or walk through the street. I was getting mobbed.
And you were fighting one of their own.
I was fighting one of their own after the fact. Same thing.
Yeah.
We went out because it was a daytime fight. So afterwards we went to eat. People was just rushing me outside every time and, you know, telling me, you know, good fight and all that stuff. And we'd love to have you back.
And that wouldn't happen if it was in America?
Hell no.
What would happen?
In New York, it would just probably be, you know, people would just kind of, it'd be a bunch of trolls. It'd be trolling and people would see you and act like they don't see you, or like maybe they would like try to say something smart or like take a picture of you, you know, and then tag you in it later, like, oh, I saw such and such, this bomb or some shit like that. But, you know, this is just the nature of what we live in now. It's the nature of the sport. So I just deal with it how I know how. And how do I deal with it is I just try not to think. You just don't think about it. I don't know.
And so what was your assessment of that fight? Like, what went wrong in that fight?
In that fight, my game plan was to crescendo. We're like, all right, we're gonna start fast. I know Jack had a tendency to counter. He's a really good counter fighter. So he likes to slip, counter, come over the top, pull counters, that kind of stuff. So my game plan was to not sit on anything early, no power on anything early, because we knew he was gonna try to counter and fight and exchange with me. So let's just be fast and show him that I have access immediately. So the fight starts, I come out, boom, I just start throwing fast shots, not hard shots, just fast, letting him know that you're not gonna be able to see my shots, right? You're not gonna be able to slip and counter and all that stuff, and I have access to you at any time I want. Plan was, let's crescendo, halfway through the first round, now we start sitting on shots. I fucked up, allowed him to back me to the cage, and instead of, you know, circling out the other way, I circled the wrong way, hands down, kind of got lazy and tried to stare him. He bombed over the top, stepped up with his back leg and that right hand and caught me. Zigged when I was supposed to zag.
Right.
Couldn't recover in time. I was fine. I hit the ground. I was still good, still moving. And, you know, I couldn't recover in time. He just jumped on the neck and got it.
Was he tougher than you thought he would be?
For sure. For sure. You know,
he's good.
Hats off to him. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. You were very classy in defeat, showed love to him.
Yeah, that's my dude.
Yeah. You guys are cool.
Yeah, he's cool. It's a good dude.
Yeah. Even now?
Yeah.
You talk?
No, not at all.
You know? Well, you say that very quickly.
No, because it's not like, you're not BFF. My friend.
Yeah,
But, you know, he's a cool dude.
There's
afterwards,
respect.
There's respect.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you said you were sad. Like, how long does that sadness last?
I don't know, maybe a week or two.
You think about
on
it,
the horse. You know, and it's like, hey, what can you do? You know, Ariel, I've been knocked down in life so many times, bro.
Yeah.
Listen, the fact that I'm here speaking with you, the fact that I'm in the UFC, the fact that I'm, you know, be able to compete at such a high level, I shouldn't even be here. I shouldn't be doing this.
What do you mean when you say that? That you should be dead?
Potentially, yeah, why not? You know, who knows where I could have been, you know what I mean? The things that I've seen, the way that I've grew up, you know my story, you know, so the fact that I'm here doing what I do, how could I be sad off of a loss? You know, it's a small moment in my entire life. You know what I mean? And it happens. This is what we do. There's going to be so much more wins to come. You know what I mean? So it was a small moment, and I felt like, yeah, it was a setback, but I have the capability and the skill sets to bounce back. So, and I know that. I didn't go on a streak on accident. You know what I mean? I know why I did that, because I set to do that, and I'll do it again.
You talk about your life. I think not everyone knows about what you've been through and had to overcome. So if you don't mind, I just wanted to ask you a little bit more about it. And you mentioned, I know you talked about it a little bit with Aaron Bronstetter of TSN, about your father. Your father's incarcerated right now since you were 2.
Yeah.
But he was able to watch your fight because it was on ESPN. This one was ESPN. Sometimes if it's on linear TV, he could watch it, correct?
Yeah.
If it's on ESPN Plus or pay-per-view, he can't.
Yeah.
Where is he right now?
He's up in Lewisburg.
Okay. And since you were 2, are you able to see him?
Yeah, man. I mean,
you could visit him.
Yeah, I see him a lot. I see him almost like twice a month.
Oh, wow.
What I mean? A lot of people don't realize that I've had my dad in my life the entire time. Even when I got sent to Jamaica, I speak to him almost every day. You know what I mean? And then when I came back up, leave for the summers, I would come back to America. They'd bring me to go visit him. You know what I mean? And
can I ask why is he in jail?
It's a lot. It's a lot from like the 90s. He went to jail under the RICO Act. That's when they first started the RICO and all that. And he was someone of interest that they wanted to get in organized crime, and they slowly worked their way and built up over time and built up a case against him. And he was a guy that he ran operations where they moved drugs. They did certain things. They robbed, extortion, all type of stuff. And they were after him, and eventually they got him, right? And he went down under RICO, and that was it. They gave him 3 life sentences.
3? I thought it was 2.
Yeah, they gave him 3 life sentences.
So is there any hope for parole or anything like that? Or?
Yes, he has one more coming up. One more coming up.
When is that?
It's coming up soon. I think it's coming up this summer, right?
And that's it?
And that's it, yeah. But he had a few already. He was denied before in the past. But he hasn't been in it, and they haven't had an incident in there since, in like 20 years. He's involved in so many different programs and mentoring programs, and, he's accomplished so much while he's in there and all the programs that they have. At this point, he's no longer a threat to society. He's a good guy. He's completely changed, devoted his life to God, you know what I mean? And I think that time is served, man. He did a lot of time, you know what I mean? I'm 33. We actually share the same birthday. I just found out. July 8th. Yeah, shout out. Cancer.
Right, cancer.
All right. So yeah, he's been in there a long time, man. And, a lot of the laws have changed. So a lot of the drug laws that, movement of marijuana and moving certain things, those things are now how do you say? Like they're not legal anymore.
Yeah.
They're not illegal anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think a lot of his time is time served on the other things, and I think that he should be able to, be free now and be with his family, be with his grandchildren. You know what I mean? Be able to see my son and my future children. You know what I mean?
Are you confident that you'll get good news this summer?
I think we will.
Really?
Yeah, I think we will. And also the judge that did his case, he retired. And he's really changed a lot, man. He's changed a lot. And I'm not making excuses for the things that were done, you know what I mean? He did what he knew. He did what he knew. He was an immigrant at the time. He came here and...
From Jamaica?
From Jamaica.
To New York.
To New York, and he found a way, and his way, it wasn't the best way, but it was the way he knew how, right? And, when he talks about why he went to jail and went to prison, he always says he did enough time for all of us, and he almost like sacrificed himself to try to put us in a better position. And in some ways he did, so my job now is to kind of and we talk about it almost every day, my job is to kind of change the narrative of the last name Brown. So my job here now as an MMA fighter, this small thing that I do, I want to change my entire name of everyone, because I come from a line of just guys that are just, they lived a different life. You know what I mean? My family, they all just live a different kind of life. I'm the only one that's doing what I'm doing.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
All right, so are there other family members in jail too?
Yeah.
How
dead,
many?
jail, all kind of stuff.
Dead or jail, wow.
My mom, when I was 2, that's when my mom got deported. and my dad went to jail under that whole same thing. You know, the house got taken, all the stuff got taken, cars, craziness, you know, and, you know, I got sent to Jamaica as a toddler, right? And that's why I represent Jamaica. I was raised in Jamaica. I went to primary school in Jamaica. I went to high school in Jamaica. I came back here when I was about, I think, 17, 18, right?
How'd you get back in?
To Jamaica?
To America, yeah.
I just came back.
Okay.
I was born here.
No, I know. Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I just came here. Yeah.
So you had a passport, you were a citizen.
Yeah. So I got a dual citizenship. I'm a Jamaican citizen.
Wow.
And an American citizen.
Okay, but they didn't say because of your family's history that you're not allowed back in. They let you in, no problem.
No, I came right back.
Okay.
You know, and I came back, and when I came back, you know, I went to, they tried to get me into Jamaica High School, and I came straight to Queens, and I went to Jamaica High School. I don't know if you know Jamaica High School.
No, I don't.
It's in Jamaica, Queens.
Oh, yeah,
right
yeah,
there.
okay.
And
no relation to actual Jamaica.
No,
okay,
no.
Yeah.
So Jamaica High School, it so happens to be the worst high school in
You're kidding.
In America at the time. The worst high school in America at the time. It was just, the graduation rate was like 30%. They just shut down now or something like that. It was a horrible school, but.
Just bad kids.
Bad kids, bad leadership. Bad, you know, just no programs. There's no funding. It was just not a good situation.
What was it like? What was it like being a student there? Mess?
Hell yeah. Dude, it was horrible.
It was horrible?
I mean, shout out to Jamaica High School, because I wouldn't be who I am today without Jamaica High School. But at the same time, Jamaica High School was crazy. I felt like the first day on registration, there was a fight. I felt like Jamaica High School was more like preparation for prison than actually high school.
No doubt.
100%.
You got into a fight first day?
No. There were fights there like the
Would
first
you get
day.
into fights?
Of course, naturally. You know, that's why it says it's prep for prison. You'd have like security guards with bulletproof vests walking up and down the halls. You know what I mean? And like, it just wasn't good. So eventually they shut it down, it was good that they did. And
Did you graduate?
No.
You didn't?
No, I went and got my GED after.
Okay.
GED, then I went to college, and after that, and then.
Where'd you go to school? Where'd you go to college?
I went to TCI down the street from Henzo Gracie Academy, and that's how I got involved in jiu-jitsu.
Okay. Wait, so you were just going to class?
I was just going to class.
And you saw Henzo's?
I just wanted to box. That's all I wanted.
Oh. And you went to a jiu-jitsu school?
And I went into a jiu-jitsu school.
By mistake?
By mistake. And that's where I met Pete Lawson. They convinced me to try the class. I tried the class. You know, that was Daniel Gracie's class. And then it was down the street from my school. Every chance I got, every break I got in between classes, I'd just go there and try it. And then I got good, and I just kept going. I ran out of money. And then I got my refund. I just fell in love with it. So I got my refund from, you know, student loan refund that you get. And I just gave it to Pete. And I said, how long can I train with this? All right. And I think he gave me, like 3 months or something, 3-4 months of training. And then I just trained. And I kept training. I was there every chance I got. Pete came up to me one day, and my money ran out. And he was just like, how would you like to, you know, clean them? He knew. He was like, yeah, I know you don't have money. How would you like to clean the mats in the morning? You know, and when you come in, because I was always there, and you'd be able to train for free. And I was like, hell yeah, I'd do it. You know, so I just started training, and then I just started going every day.
You didn't consider going to boxing? Like, you fell in love with it? So you're like...
Fell in love with it, and I was like, I'm gonna do this for a little bit, and then once I finish school, I'm gonna just get back to boxing, and we're gonna box, and we're gonna box. And then next thing you know, I met a guy named Nardu Debra. I call him Sensei Nardu today. You know, you see him in my corner, my head coach. And when I met him, I told him I wanted to fight. And he was a Henzo Gracie black belt. And within 2 weeks, I was in an amateur MMA fight, you know.
How old?
I was probably, I want to say 20 years old.
Did you know what the UFC was when you walked in?
Nah.
You weren't like a fan? You weren't really aware?
I was just trying to box. I was just trying to get some boxing.
Why boxing?
I was a fan of boxing. I was a fan of Roy Jones Jr. And then I was a fan of Floyd. You know, and those guys. And then after a while, I started doing my research, looking at the Tommy Hearns and the old school boxers, and I just loved it. I wanted to box. I wanted to be a boxer. And then once I had my first MMA fight, I was like, oh, I'll get back to boxing. I'm gonna go. And then next thing you know, 2, 3, I'm undefeated in amateur MMA. And I'm like, I got time. I'll go. And then I did like some Golden Glove stuff. You know, and I did pretty well in there, semifinals, finalists, and then novice, intermediate, I did pretty well. And then after a while, just MMA just kept calling me, man.
Did you ever box?
Yeah.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, you actually ended up
2008 I boxed, and 2009.
Was it amateur or pro?
Amateur. I was a Golden Glove champ And
so you went back?
Yeah, I went back.
Okay.
I boxed early, man. But the problem is, I never was consistent. MMA called me, and I just stayed with MMA.
I'm sure those guys were licking their lips when you went in there because you're so long, right? So they were like, "Oh, this dude on the ground be like a tarantula."
Yeah.
They probably that's. I mean, and you're like a freakish athlete. You're like 6'3", 6'4"?
6'3".
Yeah. So I mean, no wonder they tried to keep you. And so you do that. If your school isn't next to the gym, like, what do you think you would have? Like, do you think the boxing thing would have worked out? Would that have been the path, or do you think you would have ended? Like, did it save you from going down a horrible path? This thing called MMA, this school. Do you think you would have gone in a completely different direction in life?
I don't know if it would have saved me. I think combat sports in general saved me. Martial arts saved me, you know. But I think I would have. I don't know where I would have went. You know, I would have been boxing. I don't know how well I would have done.
Right.
You know, MMA. Sometimes I'm like, shit. MMA is so fucking hard. We got all this shit we got to do. I'm like, ugh. And we're not getting paid.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, I should have did this and I would have been making this much money, you know, but, you know, it is what it is, you know. I don't really live too much and look back on the past. I just move forward and do what I have to do, but who knows where I would have been. If it wasn't for martial arts, I know where I would have been, but, you know, I would have just fell in line and fell in suit with, you know, with everybody else, and I would have just been doing, you know, what the Browns are known to do,
right,
you know.
Right.
So I'm happy that I chose martial arts. I'm happy that I met Sensei Nardu. I'm happy that, you know, I've met all the people in my life and to kind of, the martial artists that I've met to kind of help me along the path.
Do you have siblings?
Yeah.
How many?
I have 8 brothers.
8 brothers?
And 2 sisters.
Holy smokes. So there's 11 of you?
Yeah.
Holy smokes. And where are they?
Jamaica, most of them were, and then we all split up now. I got brothers in Cali. Brothers in, I got brothers in Philly.
Are you close?
Yeah, we're all close.
All of you?
We're all close.
And is your mom still around?
My mom is around.
Okay,
she came back. She's here in America
She came
now.
back?
Yeah,
no
she's
problems?
Back. She's here.
Okay. Yeah. And so did she raise you when you were in Jamaica?
Yeah, she raised me and, you know, my brothers too.
And when you're in Jamaica as a kid, you can't see your dad, right?
No.
So how long did you go without seeing him?
Years at times, yeah. But I spoke to him almost every day.
Really?
You know, yeah,
how does that work?
He'd call.
He could call every day?
Yeah, he'd call me every day for 10. He gets 10 minutes.
10 minutes?
10 minutes every day.
And at what point, like at what age do you realize why he's not in your life? Because like when you're 2 years old, you don't understand, right? When you're 3, you're 4, you're 5. Like when do you think you start to realize, oh, this is a little bit different?
Probably I want to say maybe like 9-ish, around those times. Like I already knew because certain things are just like, it just is what it is when you're a kid. It doesn't seem out of the norm. I'm like, oh, my dad calls me. My dad, you know, some summer I may go over and I may see him. I may spend a month and I'll see him. They bring me to this place. I go see him and we talk and, you know, but it was never really a thing for me. That was just my life. You know what I mean? It was never like, until I started hearing I would hear stories. I would hear stories from other people in Jamaica. I would hear stories because where we lived in Old Harbor, right? Old Harbor is like a country area, right? And we lived with my grandma for a little bit. You know, my mom and my grandma, they always going back and forth and bickering. And then we ended up having to move, and we moved to this place called Techford in Old Harbor. And Techford is captured land, right? It's like captured land is basically just a piece of land. No one owns it. The government owns it. If you can chop down whatever and you build something there. So we had a little like one. It's like a shack. I don't want to call it a shack, but that's like what it was. It's like a one room.
For all of you?
Just for me and my mom.
Okay.
Right? So the one room. My brothers were in Spanish Town at that time. They were in Spanish Town doing what they do. All right. Eventually, I'll get there. Eventually, I move with them, and you know, I'm doing what I'm doing. But we lived in Old Harbor, right? And we have this little shack. You know, I got for the door is zinc. I don't know if you know sheet metal, like zinc. We call it zinc, right? So zinc. There's no real door zinc. We don't have a bed. We don't have water. We don't have electricity. We got kerosene oil lamps. Yeah. The water comes on at 3:00 twice a week, and you got to go down and go collect the water and then bring it back up, all right?
What?
And I lived that life for about 16 years, all right?
Twice a week?
Twice a week, the water will come on. And it comes on at 3 o'clock. And if you miss it, that's it, because that's where the water comes. There's no civilization that's supposed to be in this area, so there's no infrastructure built up there for people to live. So it's a bunch of poor people that just, we upped it. It's different. It was a little, when I was there, it was probably like 7 houses there. So it's a tiny little community. Now, if you go, but whenever I go back, now it's like 20, 30 houses there, but it's still electricity now. There's a little electricity that they run from the main line out there, like T-flight is what they call it, right? And then take the electricity and bring it up there.
And how long is the water on for? Like
the water's on for about 2 hours.
2 hours?
Yeah.
And so you're supposed to do what? Like,
you bring all your stuff, everybody lines up, everybody brings their stuff. They bring wheelbarrows, and you bring like, and you do multiple trips. So you do multiple trips now, you have your water to bathe, cook, all that stuff, you know. And then we also had a tank in the back of our yard. So the tank, when the rain fell, we'd use that water to wash clothes and that kind of stuff.
At what point do you realize, like, man, this is tough. Like, this is not how everyone else lives?
Again, as a kid, you don't know that.
You don't even know, right?
You don't know. You just live in.
Were your friends living like that too?
Yeah, we're all.
Your classmates?
Yeah, I mean, it's poor. Where we are, everybody's poor. You know what I mean? Everybody's poor, and we're like in the country a little bit. You know what I mean? So we just living, man. It is what it is. You know. Eventually, when I start getting exposed to like, when I go around my brothers and stuff, right? Now they came pick me up one time. I remember, I met them. I didn't even know them like that, and then when I started meeting them now.
How old were you when you met them?
Probably like 11, 12.
Where were they before?
They were there.
They were just around, but you didn't have a relationship.
Yeah, just never had a relationship with them.
Did they get into trouble too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but they live where my dad came from.
Okay.
And my dad was a Don over there in that area.
He was a what?
A Don. Like
Don, like he was the man.
Yeah, he was like somebody that ran that area.
Oh, shit.
Right? And so in that area now, they lived there. So they would do all kinds of, they had a reputation because, you know, my father and who they were and like the things that they were trying to uphold that. And
got it. No one messed with them?
No.
No, okay.
So then I moved over there with them. Long story short, they came. They used to come visit me. Eventually, they got me out of there. They're like, nah, you got to get out of here. That's when I went to the city now. Now I'm in the city.
Okay.
And I'm getting older. I'm seeing different things. I'm getting more, more experience in life. And,
yeah.
And now I'm just going down that path to the point where, I stopped going to school, and I'm like just hanging out in areas where I think my mom was like worried about me, and I was doing, shit that anybody would have done as a kid. I'm just being with my family, just doing what everyone else is doing. I'm following my older siblings at that point. And, spent a couple of years there, and then my mom just like, I remember she called up here and she was like, I had another brother here, my eldest brother, Roderick, right? Shout out Roderick. And she called him and was like, listen, you gotta, he has to come on. He can't be here. If he's here, either they're gonna kill him or somebody's gonna kill him. The police are gonna kill him or something's gonna happen to him. So they wanted me to come back. And he was like, just let him finish school first. Let him finish school. And then at that point, I was like, I was done with school. I wasn't going to school.
Yeah.
Right? I was just doing me. And then, I came back, and I came back.
When you say came back to where she lives or to New York?
No, I came back here to America.
Oh, she had moved back already?
No, she didn't. She just didn't want me there anymore.
Okay.
She was just like, because I'm not there. She don't know where I'm at. She's just like, when she come to see me, I'm in Spanish Town doing whatever. I'm over here doing whatever. I'm over at Marchman Road doing whatever. And then, she just didn't like the trajectory of what she saw it. She saw the future of where that was going, and she was just like, all right, now it's time for you to go back.
Were any of your other siblings like good role models in the sense that they were trying to pull you out too?
Absolutely. Not even pull me out, but they're just living. It's just how it is. It's like, it's not like they're just living. And when you live in certain areas and just, especially in Jamaica, when you're just surviving. Everybody's just surviving. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like you're like a bad person and you're like looking for trouble and you're looking to do things. It's just the area is just like people are just living it. And I just wanted to be amongst my brothers. I didn't want to be with my mom the whole time in the country. You know what I mean? Going through that. And like they were living different. You know what I mean? Relatively better than where we were. You know what I mean? So it was like.
You the youngest?
Yeah, I'm the youngest out of everybody.
Oh, so she was really looking out for you.
Yeah.
Damn. 11 siblings.
Yeah.
What a life.
Yeah.
Holy smokes. And then so you come back when you're in your teens?
Yeah, 18.
And is that like a culture shock to come to New York City?
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
How did you deal with that?
I did good. I thought I did good. You know what I mean? Like even my accent, like I can change it. I can like You know, I can code switch. You know, so I did really good at that. I got really good at that. Yeah, easily.
The best.
Yeah, smooth. Just where you want. Just tell me where you want. Tell me where you want. Can get patois, can get English, can get any kind of. Just tell me where you want.
Oh my God, you can turn it on and off
easily. Easily, right? And because majority of the day, that's how I'm speaking with my family and friends and all that. But yeah, it was a big culture shock coming back initially. But you know, you get used to it. You gotta just adapt. You know, especially like I said, I went to Jamaica high school, fights the first day, and like, you know, it was just kind of wild. You know, kids try to bully you because you talk different. You know what I mean? And you know, this is what it is. And then you just learn, you adapt, and that's all I know is New York, the New York life now. You know.
Did you ever consider going back now that you're, you know, a grown, like, would you like to live there?
100. It's funny, we joke about it all the time. It took me coming to America, having quote unquote success, right? And then going back to Jamaica to experience the beauty of Jamaica, because Jamaica is so beautiful.
Right.
Right? I just wasn't afforded the luxury to actually see what Jamaica was when I was there, when I was growing up. So now every chance I get, I own property in Jamaica. I'm looking to open a gym in my area where I grew up, you know what I mean?
Like an MMA gym? Or?
Absolutely.
Oh, wow.
An MMA gym.
Is it popular there?
Yeah, it's
getting
growing.
popular.
It's
you,
growing.
Aljo, right?
Aljamain, we got Leon Edwards,
right, Leon.
Osborne. You know, there's a ton of people, man. There's a ton of people that are like very interested in helping out and you know, helping the sport grow in Jamaica. And the kids down there, hungry, man.
Really?
Hungry. Super hungry.
There's
Shout out to, there's super talent, man. They're super talented. There's this one kid that Cheyenne, he's really good. You know, I really like him. You know, he's building, he's training every day. You know, these guys travel.
Are there MMA gyms there?
Yes.
There are, okay.
Yeah, there's a ton of MMA gyms.
Nice.
Sometimes we tend to show like, oh, it's so poor, it's so sad. And it's like, well, that's not all of what we have to offer. Like sometimes you should see like there's nice areas and there's nice gyms and there's people building, you know, and infrastructure and all that stuff, you know, but we tend to focus on, you know, for some reason we focus on that so much, but there's a ton of talent and there's a ton of people that are looking to make their way to the UFC and do big things. And I predict that, you know, once the guys here, like guys like Aljamain Sterling, Leon, myself, that are continuing, you know, to push and lead the charge of Jamaica MMA, I think that at some point, you know, we're going to see a lot of fighters coming out of Jamaica.
It is wild that there's 2 champions from there.
Yeah.
Do they get a lot of, like, is there a lot of coverage when you guys fight?
For sure.
Does the media cover you guys?
For sure. There's a lot of love when we fight. You know what I mean?
Huge.
Whenever I go down there, I'm always, you know, I get featured or people are always reaching out, calling me to come by, you know, so it's always pretty cool. That's always surreal to me.
And so where are you in the process of opening this gym?
Just location.
Okay.
We're very close, you know. We opening a charity, you know, and we just want to get...
Charity for what?
The charity for the gym.
Oh, for the, okay.
Yeah, for the gym. Because I want people to be able to train, like the kids where I was from, I want them to be able to train, you know, just because they're not going to be able to afford it sometimes.
Sure.
You know what I mean? The gyms typically are in like uptown. You go uptown, people can afford it there. You know, I want to put it somewhere where usually, unfortunately, the talented kids are usually the kids that can't really afford it. You know what I mean? So this is where you want to put the gyms so you can get these kids to come in and have an outlet so they know, all right, there's other ways to, you know, get out other than just, you know, you can do anything, you know, whether it's through the books, whether it's through sport, you know, whether it be through combat sport, you know, that's a viable option.
One thing I always wondered about, like places like Jamaica, the islands, the beautiful, like you say, do the locals resent the people that fly in for a week and stay in the resort and like they think this is Jamaica, but it's not the real?
Nah.
Or are they, for lack of a better word, appreciative? Oh, this helps tourism. This helps, you know, the economy here. Like, how do you view like the people that come in with their nice little outfits off the plane? They spend a week and then they go home. How do you feel about them when you're, you know, actually living there and it's a struggle? Or are you even aware that this exists because it's on another part of the island?
At that time, I didn't know anything about that until I got older, right?
Okay.
But how I view it now, and I think this is how everyone views it, it's good for the economy. It's good for the economy. It's good to boost it. Tourism is one of the biggest, you know, the biggest moneymakers for Jamaica, you know, and its economy. It's tourism, you know, besides import, export, coffee and that kind of stuff and sugar, but tourism.
Coffee's big there.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Straight out of Blue Mountain. You ever had Blue Mountain coffee? Some of the best coffee in the world.
Oh, you know what? I didn't know that. I didn't know that was from Jamaica.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Wow, that is incredible.
Yeah.
That is amazing stuff. I'm a huge coffee fan.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. So that's where I didn't know that they do that in Jamaica.
Yeah,
I think I told you this the last time you were on. I was always obsessed with Jamaica as a kid.
Oh yeah?
Because number one, Patrick Ewing was my guy.
Yeah.
So Patrick from Kingston. So it will be always because like of Ewing, I always was reading about Jamaica. And then when I was in like 6th grade, I did a whole project on Rastafarian culture. And
Did you show me a picture of you with the dreads?
I had like fake dreads. I even had an afro. I was a very confused young boy. I was this white Jewish kid in Montreal, dressed in full Malcolm X gear. I thought I was a brother. I wanted to be a brother, if I'm being honest. You know what I'm saying?
Good. Hey, listen, a little bit. I think a lot of people want to be a brother.
Of course,
just a little bit.
I mean, you're infinitely cooler than all of us. But it was like the Ewing thing. It was the Rastafari, Bob Marley, right? I mean, like, how could you not want to be a part of this? It's just like everyone seems so happy. Everyone seems so carefree. I know it's not really like that. Well, to a degree, right?
It's funny. Most Jamaicans don't listen to Bob Marley.
They don't.
I hate to break it to
you. Really?
Right? Not anymore at that time, but
why?
I don't know. It's just not really.
He's like your greatest.
Of course, he's our greatest. Artist, or just like he's massive. He's massive, and it's all love for him. But nowadays, you know how it is. Then it's just generations.
It just becomes like a little cliche, right?
Yeah, it's very cliche at this point.
Who's like the number one reggae guy now?
Well, unfortunately, even reggae.
It's not really a thing, yeah?
It's
what happened?
It's rough, Right now, it's just dancehall, man. Dancehall
Has it just kind of died?
It's not dead. I wouldn't say it's dead. But dancehall is where it's at. You know what I mean?
Wait, what is dancehall?
Dancehall, Vibes Cartel.
Okay.
Right now, Valiant.
Does that come out of Jamaica?
That's all coming out of Jamaica.
Oh, really?
It's a small island, But Jamaica, I think Jamaica. The cool thing about Jamaica is that we've influenced the world so much. This small little island. I think hip hop draws so much influence from that little island. A lot of people don't even realize that how much Jamaica influences the world when it comes to culture. When it comes to the small things. I mean, music, like hip hop, that actually began in Jamaica, right?
Did it?
It did, right? Check it out, right?
Okay.
And it's just culturally, overall, style, everything. It all stems from Jamaica. And I'm not saying that because I'm like, whoa, I'm Jamaican, and it's a fact.
It's interesting that we share the same birthday. Every birthday since the weekend I became a dad for the first time, so 2012.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, congrats on being a dad. How old is your son?
9.
9?
No, I'm tripping. What am I talking about? 12.
Your son's 12? Holy shit, congrats on being a dad. Your son's older than my oldest son. You have just one?
Yeah, just one.
I didn't realize you had a son that was 12. Does he come to your fights?
Not really. He watches. It's funny. My son, Uriah, he's more like... He's like a little nerdy kid, right?
That's cool.
That's great. I love that.
Yeah.
That's what I want, right? And he was always like, he's not really like me. And he never really...
He doesn't like sports.
Not really a sport. But the last couple of years, out of nowhere, he started wrestling.
Oh.
And he's... he loves it, man. He's doing his thing, and I try to support him as much as possible because I'm happy that he's wrestling. I love that he's wrestling, right? But at the same time, I'm hoping... That's where it ends. Like he just wrestles, goes to college, and does his thing. I don't want him to be a fighter now.
Why not?
Because fighting, I don't know. Fighting is fighting. Fighting is tough, and it's not only just tough physically. It's tough mentally. It's tough. Like you have to have a certain level of resolve to fight. You have to have face a certain level of adversity, and I don't think he's faced that level of adversity. You know what I mean? I think he's been protected by me a lot. You know what I mean in life, and we'll see how it goes, but I honestly, I don't think fighting is for everyone. I think fighting attracts broken people, you know what I mean, who are seeking something, you know what I mean? And other than artists, I think fighting also attracts artists. So if he wants to do it through art and sees it as an outlet, to express himself, that's cool. But I wouldn't advise him to fight. I'd try to avoid him have him avoid as much as possible.
Yeah,
but if he wants to, hey, I'll support.
Does he watch your fights?
He does.
Like, will he watch you live on, like this past Saturday, is he watching you live?
Yeah. He saw me afterwards too. He got to see my face afterwards. So,
yeah. But he wasn't there?
No, he wasn't there.
Okay. It's funny that you say that about like fighting attracting broken people. Now we have 2 multi-billionaires who are trying to fight each other.
That's true.
Right? Are they broken or what? Yeah. Or are they just looking for a good time?
Yeah, but you know what? I think that's just more like the times we're in.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I think we're just in like I don't think that's actually gonna happen. It's like a one-off. Like everyone thinks they could fight, right?
Sure.
Everyone thinks, oh yeah.
Wait, but do you think it? Because I actually think it's going to happen.
You think so? I
Yes.
don't think so.
I really think it is.
Really?
Yes. I have no inside knowledge. I mean, Chael came on earlier and he said that Zuckerberg called him this morning, which I don't know if I believe him or not. He said he has a deal to fight at UFC 300. But honestly, I really do think it's going to happen. Why?
You believe that?
Because
you believe that, Ariel?
Legit. Because of the crazy times we're in. Because of these are crazy freaking times. And there's so much. So, someone once told me this. When there was all the Conor and Mayweather stuff going on back in 2017, I was like, there's no chance it's going to happen. This is so dumb. And someone said, when it comes to fighting, follow the money. And if there's money to be made, it usually happens. And I was like, all right, let's see. It happened. And think about how many people would watch this.
That would be bigger than the biggest fight ever made.
Yes.
I think that would be bigger than...
The whole world would cover it.
Yeah.
Everyone would watch it.
You're absolutely right.
2 of the top 5, 6 richest people on the planet fighting in a cage. The one question I have, though, honestly, as crazy as it sounds, is the weight. Because I think Musk is like way bigger than Zuckerberg.
Yeah, he's a big guy. Was he like 6'1"?
He's 6'1", but he's also like bigger. Yeah. Which commission would allow this? I mean, would Nevada allow a fight of, like a mismatch like that? I guess we'd have to weigh them. Maybe he loses weight. But I think it happens.
I think with the money that they have, anything is possible.
Yes.
I think that if we got there in a commission that became a thing,
they could do it in Abu Dhabi too, and there's no commission there.
Yeah, I think they'd make that happen. But
would you watch it?
Hell yeah, I'd watch it. But I don't think it's gonna happen.
I just
don't know. You know why I don't think? I just think sometimes guys of a certain prestige, I feel like fighting, and not that I'm putting, I'm downplaying fighting, but I think that it cheapens them in a way to shine them in that light.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like to see these guys, potential leaders of our country at some point fight in a cage. Like what does that say about us?
Donald Trump was in WrestleMania. And he became the president, among many other crazy things. No, I know, but it's like, if that's not like, I mean, at least these 2 guys, I just think, honestly, rich people sometimes get bored.
Yeah.
And they want to just do something. And both of them seem to be fight fans. And if you're the UFC, why wouldn't you do it, right? It would be huge for them. If you're ESPN, why wouldn't you do it? It is bizarre. And initially when I heard about it, I was like, oh, this is dumb. Now I kind of feel like it's going to happen. But isn't it a little weird? Like, man, I'm not trying to get you in trouble, but I was trying to tell this to Chael, but he was freaking not listening to anything I was saying. Like 3 weeks ago, Dana's like, nah, Francis and Tyson is a gimmick, but he's down for this? What's more of a gimmick? Come on. You can plead the fifth. You can plead the fifth on this, Randy. But you know what I'm saying?
Uncle Dana's going to do Uncle Dana things.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so back to what I was going to say. Wow. Someone just sent me a link that Zuckerberg denies what Chael Sonnen said on my show. All right, to TMZ. Holy shit, Randy. We're making all kinds of news here.
Oh, shit.
What I was going to ask you about or say about the birthday thing with Bob Marley. Every birthday, I always watch this clip because I saw it the weekend that I became a parent. The Bob Marley doc. Have you seen it? The one on his life. It's called, I think, Marley. It was on Netflix.
No, I didn't watch it, but I know
it's
what
great.
you're referring to.
And you may be like, enough of Bob Marley. I hear enough about this guy. But there's one clip in there where it's from an old interview, and the reporter asks Bob if he's a rich man. You know this clip?
Yes, I do.
And he says, what does rich mean? What is rich? And he goes, well, do you have a lot of things? Do you have a lot of possessions?
It's an iconic clip.
And then he says, possessions make you rich. I don't have that kind of riches. My richness is life. And I was like, fuck, that is the greatest line of all time, right? For like a guy like him to say that. So I always play that on my birthday.
Yeah.
And your birthday too. Like, it's just, that to me is Bob Marley. Like that way of life, that way of thinking.
Absolutely. That's Rastafarianism in general. That's what the philosophy of the Rastafari and the Rastafarian, those guys, they live a different kind of life, and they give themselves to God, their God. And, they represent peace, man. They represent peace. And it's cool thing about a Rasta in Jamaica could go anywhere. Think about the slums of the slums. A Rasta could walk through anywhere. Nobody touch him. Nobody touch a hair on his head.
Really?
Nobody say anything to him. That's just, that's the kind of respect that the Rastas kind of, they command.
Did you ever have dreads?
No. My stepfather did though.
Why didn't you do it?
I was just never really,
Wasn't your thing?
That's not my thing, but.
It's hard to maintain, right? the beeswax and all that.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff you got to do. You know, you got to wash it every day.
Yeah,
and, it's a lot. You know, I've seen
wash it every day. That's exhausting. Who wants to take a shower every day?
You got to shower every day, but think about now washing that lump of hair every day. That's like crazy.
Drying it,
all that, and just maintaining it.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
So we were talking about the Jack Della fight. We didn't even talk about this one. Considering how that one went, going into this one, how are you feeling, confidence-wise?
Through the roof, man. I was extremely confident.
Really?
I was.
Despite losing, you know, the way you weren't questioning yourself, you weren't.
Nah, man. There's nothing to question. Is that Ariel? I'm telling you, I'm serious. There's nothing to question. And this is not me trying to put on and be like, oh, I'm this tough. I'm a martial artist. I'm not a guy that came up in a gym per se. That's a lot of guys. I can say guys, they compete. They're competitors and they compete and they know how to win. And so I'm just a martial artist, man. I'm just a kid that. I didn't have a wrestling background. I didn't grow up wrestling. I didn't grow up doing none of these things. That's why I told you, I shouldn't even be here. I learned on the job. I was athletic enough. You know what I mean? I had a good head on my shoulders, and I picked it up and I was consistent and I had a goal and I just locked in and I just got it done. So for me, I'm chasing perfection. Perfection is unobtainable. I'm just chasing to be as good as I can be, all right? And I'm more so a fan of the art of things. I'm a fan of the skill set. I like things to look good. I like fashion. I like things to look good. So when I'm fighting, I like my fighting to look good. It's not always gonna look good, right? So for me, it was like I fucked up. It was a technical error. Shit happens. What am I do now? Oh, now I suck and I gotta go put my head in the hole. It's like, no, I know what I'm capable of. I know what I'm doing in the gym. I know the fellas I'm training with. You know, I think I can hang in there with anyone. Some of the best in the world. You know what I mean? So a loss can't define me. A moment of a lapse in judgment, a single shot, boom, oh shit, I should have had my hand here. I extended to try to steer and I got caught. This, now I suck?
Yeah.
No, you know? So my hand should have been up when I steered him and I got caught. It is what it is, you know? So, nah, man, I just want it to look good. I'm practicing my art and I'm trying to make my art as efficient and effective as possible. And I fucked up, and if anything, that encourages me to go back and be like, fuck, all right, boom, this is where I fucked up. I gotta do this, I gotta do that. I'm gonna talk to all my coaches so I make sure that shit never happens again.
How'd you feel about the art on Saturday? How'd you feel about your fight?
Not happy.
Not happy?
Not happy, but happy that I got it done. I needed to get back in the win column, you know.
Why not happy?
Because I wanted to go in there and get a finish. I wanted to get a spectacular finish, you know. Shout out to John Marquez over at Philly MMA. Shout out to, you know, Body Bags, Brady, that whole team, Jeremiah Wells, Petrowski, all of them. Shout out to everybody over at Marquez MMA because they helped me a lot with this camp. With my last couple camps, you know, they helped me prepare and they helped me, you know, explore other parts of my game, you know, like in the wrestling department and that kind of stuff. And I think that saved me in this fight to an extent, you know what I mean? Of me being able to show other parts of my game. But typically that's not how I want it to go. I want to get a spectacular finish and I want it to look good and but that's not what I got. I got, it wasn't pretty, but I got it done.
Were you nervous before they read the scorecards?
No.
No.
I wasn't.
You thought you did enough. Which rounds do you think you won decisively?
1 and 2, easily.
Yeah. Were you worried about the eye poke?
Yes, I was worried about the eye poke. When I poked him, I was like, damn, well, it wasn't a big poke, but you know, he like John Starks it up a little bit. I touched your face, but on the video, my palm, my
John
finger.
Starks it up. I never heard that one.
Yeah,
what does that mean? He was playing it up?
Yeah, he played it up a little bit.
Come on. How are you going to do that to John Starks? Why you're a New Yorker. You're talking shit about John Starks?
I mean,
I know. He played Reggie Miller. I would have gone with Reggie Miller. That would have been that. So you thought he was acting?
A little bit, but you know, I poked him in the eye, so I'm not gonna take that out. I did, you know, it's not like, I didn't, and he's complete bullshit. But it wasn't like he kneed me in the nuts twice, and I kept fighting. You know? It's like sometimes you can just sit. We just acknowledged it. Yeah, my finger touched your eye, and it was like, hey, let's stop and acknowledge, like, oh, my eye. Whereas it wasn't like in his eye, and then it actually affected him, you know.
Okay. So you thought you won 1 and 2?
Yeah, for sure.
Did he hurt you at any point?
No.
No rocking?
The elbow and the damage that was done to my eye.
That was from the third?
Yeah, that was all done in the third round.
Which one's? I mean, they're both kind of black right now.
It's my nose. He he did some damage to my nose. It's not broken, but it's definitely like some big how they say bruises across. It's definitely hurt pretty bad. So he both got the 2 black eyes going on. The raccoon look going on.
He's a tough guy.
He was tough. He surprised me, man. I'm not gonna lie. He definitely put up a good fight and a lot tougher than I thought. So credit to him. You know, 100.
Coming down from middleweight?
Yes, he was a lot stronger than I thought he would be. I thought he was going to be zapped out from cutting that weight. I fought the best version of Wellington Turman, so hats off to Wellington Turman. He did a great job.
So what do you want to do next now?
Now I want to keep running it up, man. I need to come back and, I need a better performance for my next one, though. So, I would like to get back in the rankings and just continue to climb. So,
do you want to fight on the New York card or?
I do. I don't know why. I can't. They never put me on these New York cards.
Yeah, what's up with that?
It just doesn't make sense.
MSG, I mean, the timing works out perfect.
It does.
Or is that too far away?
Nah, I'd wait.
November?
Yeah. It makes sense. I'm a New Yorker.
Yes,
I'm outside. I'm not like no shade to my Long Island people. I love y'all, but Queens, the boroughs, Brooklyn, like I'm that guy from New York. You know what I mean? And
wait, correct me because it's off the top of my head. You've never fought on any of them?
I fought in Brooklyn, yeah, and MSG. I fought Mickey in MSG.
Okay, all right, yeah, of course, all right. That's what I was questioning. So you have fought in New York.
I have.
But you feel like that lately they haven't put you on. Yeah.
So I gotta work out whatever needs to be worked out.
So what's the perfect scenario?
Perfect scenario is I get a
MSG November against who?
Against anybody. I mean, what do you think? What do you think I should?
I have to look at the names. Do you want me to look at the names?
Yeah, let's see.
Let's look at the names. You said you want a rank guy, or you think that this is the fight that gets you into the rankings? Let's see.
Either or. It's just the name is right.
It'd be kind of fun. I mean, he just fought. That's why I'm looking at it. Magny just fought.
I like that too. I think that's a great fight.
He was on your card.
It was.
I know Kiesa is about to fight. I'm looking at the bottom half of the.
Yeah, it makes sense.
The top 15 guys. Jack Della's in there. He's climbing. Ian
What's
Gary.
Li Jinglang doing? Is he ranked?
No. You like that one?
Yeah, I like that fight too.
That'd be a good one.
Yeah.
That'd be a very good one. Michel Pereira.
That's fun.
What do you think of Ian Gary? You like him?
Yeah, I think his style is cool.
He's good.
Yeah, I think he's sharp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is a bit.
That's a fun
think he
fight.
beats Jeff Neal?
I don't.
You don't? Wow.
Also, I think, and I'm not saying this because I've been training with him, but I think Sean Brady dominates, like absolutely dominates on July.
Wow.
Yeah.
Against Jack?
Yeah.
Have you been working with him for this fight?
A little bit. Not particularly for this fight.
Yeah,
Jack's a completely different
When
type
did you
of
go
guy,
with those guys?
I've been training with them for the past, I want to say 2 years now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I saw you, and you were with Joe when he fought in Miami, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's really good too.
Yeah, he's a monster, man. He's a superstar in the making.
He's had surgery, right?
Yeah. But he's going to make a lot of noise, and he still hasn't shown how good he actually is.
Okay.
Yeah, so people are going to be surprised when they start to see the things that he can do.
Is that your full-time team now?
You call it that, I'm there. What I do is I live in New York. That's the only thing is I live here.
Yeah, and they're in Philly, right?
Yeah, so I spend like a week. I'll go up for a week, and I'll stay the whole week, and then I'll come back, and I'll stay another week here. Then I go up for another week. I stay the whole week, then I come back. So
oh, wow.
I'm just going back and forth. So I'm working out the moving situation.
You might move there.
Potentially, yeah.
Okay. And so when you're here, who are you training with?
Another situation I tell you I shouldn't even be here. Right?
What do you mean?
It's I train with Sensei Nardu, right, and the guys at Budokan, but I don't really have there's no MMA fighters here for me to train with. There's no like UFC caliber guys for me to train with at my weight class here. So I train with a lot of kickboxers. I'm in the boxing gyms a lot, hence you see the way my style is. Grappling heavy, so I have to split it. I have to create almost a camp, so there's no like real
It's
MMA.
very stressful, right?
It's stressful. I'm traveling every day. I'm running around, you know what I mean? But whereas when I'm in Philly, everything's in-house. I can get it all done there.
You can just go there.
Yeah.
You don't have to go all over the place.
So the fact that I've had such a successful career doing that the whole time, I think that's a testament to, just my dedication and hard work and, just being able to piece everything together like that. So I think that me training, more full-time over here is definitely boosting my skill set for sure. I wish I did it earlier.
Yeah. No, I mean, you're still relatively young. You could, right? I mean,
Yeah, for sure.
By the way, what is the pro and the bro?
The pro and the bro, that's my podcast. That's my podcast where we talk about fights. It's funny. It's me and my boy Phil. We literally, it's not like your suit and tie type of podcast where we talk about fight. We can talk about anything. We get into fights, but we may go on a tangent and talk about, some of the most random shit, ever. And it's pretty cool. It's fun. We break down fights. We talk about each fight prior to each card,
Every single fight?
Every single.
Sheesh. All the cards?
All the cards.
Even like the so-so ones?
Yeah.
The Sean Strickland ones at the Apex? Fucking hell.
All
Even
over.
I don't do that.
Yeah,
It's a lot of fights.
It's cool. It's pretty cool. We break down fights. I do my picks, and we have a good time.
Twitch also?
We do it on Twitch, and then we upload it on YouTube.
Yeah, look at you.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, I think that's important. I think
you have to do that stuff.
Yeah.
Social media.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Try to create a life after fighting. I think that's very important for fighters.
Well, that's a good note to end on. Well done, my man. You've come a long way. You've overcome a lot of obstacles, a lot of great things, and you continue to succeed. You continue to thrive, and it was great to see you back on track on Saturday in a big spot. And I love the fact that it was ain't no thing. You lost your last one, no big deal. Not going to overthink it.
It is what it is.
And you'll owe me $5 when Musk and Zuckerberg fight next year, all right?
Deal.
Deal? All right, man.
Deal.
There he is, rude boy, Randy Brown, the pride of Jamaica, the pride of Queens. I was saying goodbye, and you're just leaving.
Well,
You ain't got to go home, but you got to get the hell out of here. We got my interview with Marlon Vera. We'll play that. I'm going to say goodbye to this man, and we'll be back with our recap of the weekend, and then we'll say goodbye, all right?